What up, what up, world? What up, everybody? Welcome to episode 56 of the Fanatic Sports Podcast. This might literally be the strongest episode that we have. It's a big day. First of all, everyone should know that y'all better share the live and enjoy the podcast, or I'm gonna bring my man Cam to your house and he's going to drag your car away with his bare hands. That is this is a guarantee. No, very excited to have our man Lionson Camren Bullock, PowerLifter and all around badass, who literally can squat a third of a car on his back. So we are definitely excited to have you here. Welcome to the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Cam, how are you, man?
Appreciate you for having me.
Yes, sir, man. So, for those who, the crowd is very excited. So, man, look, we got a lot in store. Very excited to get the chance to talk, man. I know you and I've been talking for a bit in the DMs, man. So it's cool to finally get to jump on air. So
appreciate you for having me,
man. I see the support as well, and I got a chance to see some of the cool things you're doing, man. So definitely was looking forward to getting you on air with us. So now, as always, fan is short for fanatic, which is why we call it the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Fanatic is generally associated with crazy, or what we prefer to call passionate.
I go by either or. Either or is fine with me. I'm passionate and crazy.
Exactly. Now I know you're a big MMA fan, but right now I just want to talk sports fandom. So give me your it doesn't matter, any level, high school, college, pros, any sport, football, baseball, basketball, cricket, your favorite fighter, doesn't matter. Favorite story on how you became a fan of your favorite team or player in sport.
I'm from Baltimore, so
okay.
My favorite person ever is always Ray Lewis. Like, it's just the mentality and just the way he always looked like he was just in a different mode. Like, he was a different person on the field versus when he was outside. Like, anytime you see him outside, he like, nice and whatnot. But like when he's on that field, it's you could just see the passion, the anger, the rage. One of those there's one of those people that have that thing called a switch. Yeah. And that's where I me personally, when I get into my competition mode, as soon as I walk through those doors, there's a switch. And I always gotta give shout outs to him. But another person who just Derrick Rose. I don't know why, him to be the youngest to get MVP. I always I never really cared for the top guys. It's always the guys that people talk about but never really achieved what they could have been. You know what I'm saying? So and another one is Dennis Rodman. Okay. Love him. I don't know. Everyone talk about.
I saw you had posted some stuff about the worm, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah,
man. So kind of explain how you got into following his career.
He's just weird, bro. It's just one of those people. At the time, he was just one of those people. People didn't know him too much. Nowadays, they don't know him for being the monster he is, scoring 0 points, but getting 30 rebounds. People don't know about that, and it's just one of those things where I don't know, I gravitate to that. They know him as this cross dresser, being this weirdo, partying, drinking, smoking. Famous thing about Michael Jordan, he had to go to a hotel and drag him to a game, and then that's one of the games that he went crazy in. Yeah. So it's I see myself in that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm one of those people where people see what I'm doing. when I'm partying and whatnot, having fun, but then they compare to me when I'm actually competing and actually lifting.
Yeah, totally
I'm
different.
I'm just
Like
a
you said,
different.
that's that switch.
Yeah,
That's
that
that
switch.
switch.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, no doubt. So I and I know they've got something coming out about it's called like 48 Hours in Vegas. Now I can't remember if it's already released or if it's coming out or something. It's about those 2 days where it was the end of it was towards the middle of the season, and the genius that Phil Jackson he meets with Scotty, he meets with Mike, and he says, "Look, Rodman's about to combust, bro. We gotta give him some time off." So like that 48 hours, he missed one game, but like it was like a 3-day stretch where they were gonna get some days off anyways. So or no, I think it was like right after the game, something like that, and then they let him go to Vegas and be Rodman in Vegas. And then he can't. They picked him up like they had Chicago had a jet that picked him up and brought him back like literally hours before the next game or something crazy like that. I love this story because it's just like and I'm with you. So Dennis Rodman is from my part of the world. So I'm from Little Rock originally, and I lived in Northwest Arkansas, and he went to school in like Southeast Oklahoma or somewhere around that way. Small school. Had and you know he entered the league at like 26, well past. You know, a lot of kids these days are entered. A lot of kids these days at 26 are out of the league, right? They get drafted at 19, and if they make it to 26 as a NBA player, that was a good run for them. So imagine a guy that actually enters the league at 26 and just has just this uncanny God-given ability to find rebound. Like I don't know if you've ever like watched some of his you know as he talks about the game of basketball, and like he was a troubled guy. He had a troubled youth, but he was like 6'2", and so they had him play, and that kind of brought him. Even after that, like he didn't get the full a lot of offers or anything like that. He just was because he is, like you said, a weird guy by society standards, and so it was more so about for Rodman. It was just about finding someone who cared, and so.
I feel that honestly, like I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know that he entered a league at 26.
Yeah.
So that made me even like feel even closer to him because like when I started to actually power lift and whatnot, and actually get to like the point where I'm ready to compete, right. I think I was 19, and it was 20. No. It was I was 19. It was I was 20, and. Okay. And that was 2020, right in the beginning of it.
Okay.
I turned 21, and like as soon as I decided to make my like debut, I already signed up for a powerlifting meet. That's when like COVID happened. So it was like my opportunity kind of to start back then was like taken from me. So like, and then like now that I live in Ohio and whatnot, I was 25. Started really making a name for myself at like 26, like, and actually, going up on the rankings and whatnot, like, it makes me feel even closer to him because it's like, we both had opportunities at 26 and we're taking it.
Man, and listen, I'm super happy to have it, and so I realized where I connected with you is that my man Tyron from Sports Testimony is yes, Tyron, who is who's jumped in the
first off,
in the
shout out for Sports Testimony. He told me you was a really good dude and really watch your stuff. I'm honestly like I'm not a huge sports fan. I have favorite people. Like I like people like I like watching interviews. Like I like to watch a lot of Joe Rogan when he has fighters on there, and I don't even watch the fights, but I can like resonate with the fighters. But like he got me into like actually getting into sports and actually watching the sport because I always like the mentality. So I always like to watch the interviews and stuff of them more than I like watching their fights. and just so happen they always be winning, you know. So it was like, you know, when they have that great mentality, and I understand that, that's the people I put my money on. But like, you know, Tyran was telling me, he was like, hey, this guy, really good dude, you should watch his stuff. And then I was like, you know what, let me get on here. I might learn a little something, you know. So man, like, I've been watching you ever since.
I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it, man. Shout out to Ty, bro. So I run across people, and this is the reason why I enjoy doing this, man. To be completely honest with you, I don't really make a dime off doing this, but I really, really enjoy it. And so one of the things that I've gotten the opportunity to do, so with our fantasy football league, which, by the way, shameless plug, the Fanatic Sports Podcast Fantasy Football League is in full swing. We're headed into week 7, and my co-host is about to jump on. He should be. He just said something in the chat, but he's about to jump on shortly, and he's actually in first place. Yes, and I said it for everybody. He's in first place. I lost this week, and so but Tyran is also in that podcast. So like, it's just been a really great like networking and content building opportunity. For a lot of really cool people that I've met while I'm going through, you know, the process of just building this podcast. We've been doing it a little over a year. As far as, you know, coming on air, we've been coming on air for a little over a year, and so it's been a lot of fun, this podcast. And then the Fantasy League has made the podcast a lot more fun. There's a lot. You should see our fantasy group chat. There's a lot of shit talking. It's absurd.
Hey, you can add me into it, but honestly, I won't even know what you're talking about. I'll be there just causing trouble.
Man, that's probably why I'm about to add you.
Like, I don't know, like me and Tyran, we be talking sometimes. I don't know what's going on with the Giants. I just know they lose, so I like making fun of them about that. Like,
but you know what, man? So like, but you learned a lot. Now, actually, there's a girl that I follow on Instagram. She's been giving weekly updates. Her boyfriend is a Bengals fan. Mm-hmm. And so you watch her as she's learning the game of football on air, right? So like she'll give a before the game update and a post game update. It's the funniest thing ever, because like, you know, like I said, you don't know a lot about sports. She didn't know anything about football, and so like they're giving, obviously throughout watching the game, they're giving her, like, you know, tips on what's going on, things like that. But yeah, it's fantastic. But no, man, this is why we do it. So definitely, again, shout out to Tyran, man, because that's a big plug, man, to me, for him to say that, man. We've been talking a lot in the in chats, but our schedules haven't linked up quite the same. And mine is all over the freaking place, dude. It's crazy. So definitely just really, really cool to get to link with people like that, man. So, well, I thought Anthony was coming. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But definitely shout out to Tyran. And again, for those who are just joining, Lion Sin Cam, Lion _Sin _Cam, if I'm not mistaken. That's how you spell it.
That's my Instagram handle. Yeah.
So really quickly before we get started, tell everybody where they can find you. You know, as far as on social media, and we definitely want them to come support all the really, really badass things you're doing.
Well, the first one is always Instagram. I don't know, like, I used to post a lot on TikTok. Right now it's kind of like my secondary. Well, probably my third, but Instagram, you know, Lion _Sin _Cam, you know, spelled exactly how it sounds. And Lion Sin Cam on Facebook, and then TikTok, I think it's Cam I Am. I'm pretty sure it's Cam I Am or it's Lion Sin Cam, either or. But that's the majority of where you can find me at. I just made a YouTube, and I'm thinking about starting to make some videos pretty soon. Just kind of like vlogs, just little something here and there. Nothing too educational yet. I want to learn more before I start implementing, like I'm some type of teacher or coach or something.
Gotcha. I got you. But look, man. So I'll tell you. One of the things I learned. So shout out to my mentor James Burkhart. He probably watching. Burkhart is he's an old Cajun from up in North Louisiana. And one of the things I met him. I'll tell you the story how I met him. He's a really, really cool dude. So I played football. I played for a small school in Southwest Arkansas, close to where I'm from. And I got hurt, and I couldn't afford to stay there. I moved to Fayetteville, Northwest Arkansas, where the University of Arkansas is, because in my mind, I said, "Oh, I'm good enough to play for a Division I school, even though I barely."
Yeah.
So I transferred there. There was a ton of it wasn't as easy as it is now, right? With the portal and all the people who help you and NIL and all that stuff. It was a ton of red tape just to even get enrolled in the school. I had a terrible go at it, and I didn't take care, as Marshawn Lynch said, I didn't take care of my chicken as I should have. And so there was a lot of red tape, and by the time I finally got eligible to play, I had like a year of eligibility left, and the coach there was getting ready to leave, so he didn't feel like wasting time with me. So man, I'm downtrodden, bro. I am, and by the way, got a wife and a baby. So yeah, it was.
You're better than me. Like, I got a cat. I mean,
your cat may be nicer than my daughter. We'll get to that later.
Honestly, probably not.
But we had, so I was in the middle of that, man, and so now I'm a Razorback fan through and through. So I still go to the red and white game. So Tuesday, the recruiting guy says, "Yeah, Joe, we'd love to have you. We like your size, et cetera, but I don't know what." You only got a year left. And I was like, well, I just really want to be able to get some playing experience. Coach, he said, yeah, you could be a graduate assistant or whatever, but we normally reserve those spots for players who played all 5 years. And so then he just kind of looks at me and I was like, so can I play? And he's like, not really. Man, like my heart is
not really is still a chance though, if you ask me.
You know what? I should have taken that chance. I wish I would have and just been a tackling dummy. But I didn't. There were so many other factors at that moment. I couldn't think clearly. And, if it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. But what I came up with was I would just go on with life at this point. And so that was Tuesday. I had that meeting with this guy, and it ends with him saying, that doesn't seem like it's very lucrative for me to play for you guys. And he said, no, which rightfully he was very much correct because they stunk the year before. Then the next year they reeled off 10 straight wins in a SEC West division title. So he was right. They were really good, and they definitely didn't need me. But that's but having said that, so what happened was Saturday. That Saturday is the red and white game, and I am. I got my baby in my left hand. I'm holding my wife's hand in my right hand. And this fella walks by and he says, boy, you ought to be out there playing with them. And I said, man, I wish I could. He said, do you still want to play? This was my mentor and the team owner of the minor league team I played for. His name is James Burkhart. And I said, man, with everything in me. And he goes, well, meet me next Saturday in Rogers. And so we meet at this high school, man, and it's a bunch of, what minor league football is a bunch of, the better term is adult amateur football, right? So 18 and up. These are guys who, for whatever reason, one reason or another, whether it be that they didn't get the opportunity like me, or they didn't take care of their business, or even if it's just that even if it's just literally them having late bloomers, things like that. Some people just don't want to give up the game of football. And so this level gives you the opportunity to play. Now, there are some, shout out our guy, Bones Jones, Derek Jones, who former Ole Miss cornerback and former Jets cornerback, who's still playing minor league football. Now, he's playing, I think, Arena or something like that. And
Arena's tough. I'm not going to lie to
you. He's won a couple rings and everything. This dude's been doing it, man. He's been tearing it up. And so shout out to him. And that's why I try to make sure that I'm very cautious to not say minor league, because he's in an upper level where he actually I think he gets paid. I don't know if he gets paid, but most of the people in those leagues are getting paid. Whereas with our league, man, we just love the game, bro. And so,
yeah.
But I'll tell you what. So I played for 4 years. Really enjoyed the opportunity to play, and then after that, I coached for 4 years, and that's what got me into this broadcasting. And I tell you this long and elongated story to tell you that my mentor, who and I can tell you 100 more stories just like this, where it didn't matter what he said we were going to do, we would do it. And so I tell you that to say, if you're interested in posting videos and teaching, and look, not just Cam, anybody watching, if you want to do something, whether it's podcasting or building a gingerbread house, just go do it, man. Like one of the things, wise old wisdom blocker. All right, we got to come up with a name. But look, man, one of the things I learned, dude, is if nobody's gonna help you do it, nobody's gonna, like me who are willing to help, but there's very few of us. Sadly, that's what's wrong with our community today. Is there's very few of us. But man, get out and do it. Turn the camera on. Mess up in front of the world, and you'll go viral for doing something stupid. But you'll go viral, and then you move on. But and that's mainly what we're here to talk about. This turns into a great segue, because Cam, this is the thing. You didn't start off squatting 666.
Not at all. Not at all.
I watched some of your videos going back. I believe that we were 3 and 4, and then there was 555, and then you finally worked your way up to it. And I know 66 ain't the end for you, right?
Of course not. Actually, the 666 was a low ball number for me at that meet that I did. Some things kind of just happened, and it kind of played out where that was the only logical number to hit, like, because the goal was, I had some personal issues with people, and they, it's sad, but in powerlifting, there's this thing where people think that you can't hit certain numbers, so your opinion doesn't matter. So so it's like I had a conversation with somebody on Facebook and whatnot. They're in another powerlifting team, I think out like Marion or something like that, and I was talking to them, and they was like, talk to me when you squat 700 pounds. So I went in there in the mindset like, hey, 700 pounds is falling tonight. I don't care. And like, I had this mentality where like, I'd rather try 700 pounds than I'd rather try and die doing 700 pounds than not trying at all. And like, just some circumstances happened with my second lift where I did 639 happen, and I was like, all right. And great thing is I have a great team around me. I got my coach wearing on my shirt right now, Josh Landers, with the Landers Strength Syndicate, and he was just telling me, he was like, hey, look, you have the strength to do it, but right now we need to go for the number you can hit. And that last squat didn't look like it. It was small circumstances, just getting prepped. It was a smaller meet and whatnot. So like I didn't have enough time to actually get ready like the way I needed to. So he was like, I was like, hey, look, I trusted my coach. I was like, put any number on that bar you feel like I can hit right now, and I'm gonna do it. And he was like, well, I'm gonna put my favorite number, 666. So he was like, we're dancing with the devil tonight. Let's see if you could do it. I was like, I'm gonna do it. My mindset was to do 700 regardless. So I went out there and I sunk it to the ground, and like, you can see it right here. And I sunk it to the ground, and it was a little bit of a talk about how I did it, but so like, it looked pretty easy. It was there, but that's my coach right there lifting me off.
Okay. Man, I'm of the mindset when I saw the way that I'm pretty sure you probably could have hit 766 in that one, man.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. Once you start hitting that threshold of around the closer to your number and whatnot,
yeah,
like 1 pound will feel like 10, and every pound you add on just feels more and more than what it is. So like maybe in that moment, 666 was all I can do, and if I tried 667, I probably wouldn't have got it. So it's like, like I normally wear these headbands while I lift and whatnot, and
okay,
when we go there, one of the rules is we can't wear it. And it was like, trust me, you wear the headband, that adds another 20 pounds to your lift.
You're right.
Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
feel
you're right.
feel like you're getting weight. Anything you're wearing is feeling like it's weighing you down. So like, good thing I'm just happy I got a great coach that just wants to see me do good and not willing to risk my body for his numbers. Because like he could have just been like, fuck it, just do. I mean, my bad. I didn't mean to cuss on your stream, but but
you good, bro.
But he was just like, hey, let's just go out there, let's just hit the. He was like, I know you got that in you. Come on. He was like, I don't want to see no kittens. It's all lions. So I went out there and I did what I got to do.
So all right. I'm glad you mentioned that. So tell me how we got to Lion Sin. Tell me about that name a little bit.
Well, so honestly, I gotta give my shout out to my homeboy Darren,
Okay.
Darren Carr. He was one of my homeboys. I went to a school called Job Corps, right?
Okay.
And it's I lived in DC for a little bit, so like I went out there. Everyone's older than me. I went out there at the bottom age, which is 16.
Okay.
So all these guys are like 22, 23. Or like they're like 19 or like like that's the lowest number, like the lowest age out there other than me. Okay. So like we really like me and him we both like anime. So okay. One of our favorite animes was the 7 Deadly Sins. Okay. If you know like in the Bible what the 7 Deadly Sins are, you got the wrath and you got the gluttony and you got pride. So like we were just in there just training, and I was just telling everybody I'm just better than everybody. I was like, I don't care that I was like, look, I don't care that you bench more than me, but I guarantee by the end of this year I'll bench more than you. I'm like, I'm better than you. It doesn't matter. So like, me and him were just talking, and these characters have certain characteristics, and the character named Lion Sin Escanor. Okay. One of his characteristics was just like, hey, like I'm gonna beat you. Yeah. He'll walk to your face and be like, hey, I'm better than you. And this is who he was. So like my buddy, he was a crash out. So I always called him Dragon Sin, because the Dragon Sin was the sin of wrath, Okay. So he was like, bro, if I'm that, you're a Lion Sin, because you be talking like you just don't give a damn about what anybody has to say. You're better. And I was like, bro, is that wrong though? I was like, I'm just better than everybody. So like, I always go in there with the mentality like, yeah, I don't care that you do this, you do that. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be what people talk about, regardless. Like, so what did you did this? They're gonna be like, but did you see him though, and the way he did it? Like, one of a really good clip of mine, I did the WPPL, and everything I'd done, and it's another squat video. I don't know if you have this one. I did a WPPL, and somebody that I was at odds with, everything spins off of somebody I'm at odds with. Everything I do is damn near off of just somebody I'm at odds with. So I literally was somebody squatted 600. At the time, I think I only squatted 562. Okay. And somebody squatted like 600 pounds, and they thought they were just better than everybody. And I was like, bro, if I wanted to do it, I'll do it right now. I was like, you know what? Hold on. I went to my next meet, and I was like, I'm about to do this so easily. You have no doubt but to talk about how great I did it. Yeah. So it's like one of those things where it's like, that's where the Lion Sin came from. And like you can see in the video, like when I squatted the 600 pounds for the first time, that was my first time I ever squatted 600 pounds. And when I did it, when I went down, as I was coming up, I looked at the camera and was talking directly to the camera. No breath hold, just like, I'm about to do this so easy that you will remember it. So like at the end of the day, it's just one of those things where like it's all a mindset thing.
Yeah.
I go anywhere I go, and whoever, I can be in the same room as people that are considered the greats and tell them why I'm better. So like, you know, that's where the lion's sin came from. It's from an anime called 7 Deadly Sins, and it's based off the lion's sin Escanor. And like one of the famous quotes he had was, he walked down on somebody that had the power to, if you have hatred in your heart towards him, you can't move. Okay. You know, and he walked down on him. So obviously he didn't hate him. And he literally looked him in his face, was like, why would I hate somebody that I see that's weaker than myself?
Yeah.
So like that's just the mentality I always have. Like I just, wherever I go, when we start talking about strength, I don't care what you do right now. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it better. So it's like, you know, we could take it there if you want. We could put the weight on the bar right now. Like,
so I've got I think I did find.
Oh yeah, this one right here.
Yeah, that's pretty damn impressive. That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, that's my coach right there. Bro, there's something about my coach that be getting me there. Like, I don't know if you can see his mouth move or not, but like, like it's one of those things where like, like he be bro, he be giving me like the Optimus Prime like level speech before I go lift. Like, I don't even know what he be saying. He's just saying stuff. Like, he just.
But it works.
It works. I'm like, all right, I don't care. I'm like, you know, we're there.
That's what, man. The way you threw that 600 up is scary. It's scary. So now are these the three lifts you mainly do? Just squat, bench, and deadlift?
Yeah, that's the main one. The one I really want to get into, which, because there's 4 lifts technically in powerlifting, which is the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. And then the 4th one that's popular overseas that I want to get into is the street curl. So like it's when you lean up against the wall and you have weight like right here and you just curl it to your chin. That's the one I want to get to the most. I haven't had a competition that nearby that wants to do it. So you know.
So where all have you traveled to with powerlifting so far?
Well, powerlifting first. If I'm gonna say in traveling and in general, I moved from North Carolina to Ohio to focus on powerlifting.
Okay.
So like before I even competed, I made the mindset to pack things up and moved out here with my my buddies. I actually lived in a gym for 2 years.
Okay.
And it was a fighting gym. It wasn't even a powerlifting gym or whatnot.
Oh, really?
And they didn't. Yeah, I got my 2 buddies, Gates Cook, Dylan Bucka. I was talking to him on the phone, and it was like, "Hey, like, we want you to get back into a sport, just like get back to focus." Because when I was living in North Carolina, I was done with it. You know, after the COVID situation, I was living my life. I had a nice little job, you know, good little chick I had at the time. But you know, my buddies was like, "Hey, we want to see that old Cam back, like the drive." So they was like, just come to Ohio and focus on powerlifting.
Okay.
So I literally, I think 3 weeks later, packed all my stuff up, moved out here. It's funny because like I traveled on a bus, and the bus dropped me off on the side of the road because it was gonna take me an extra hour out. So I was on a bus for I think, was it 18 hours?
Yeah, we're not doing
traveling. Like, I was on a bus for like 18 hours, and then they dropped me off on the side of the highway. And for some reason, I always believed like I could just make it. You know, like I never cared. So I have the sheet with all my stuff in it, like really backpacked. I'm holding the sheet
Oh,
over
one
my
of those
shoulder.
old school. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And then I looked at my phone and I'm like, well, at least I'm in Ohio, like near where I need to be.
Okay.
And I typed in the address of where I had to go. It was an hour and a half walk. So I'm walking with like all my stuff. I walked for a whole hour and then I told my buddy where I was at and he ended up getting me a ride the rest of like the 30 minutes back. Well,
Okay.
it took only like 10 minutes, but it was like a 30-minute walk left.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
like, so like yeah, so I was in this powerlifting gym. There was no equipment, and you'll think of Ohio like me personally, I think Ohio's like the bodybuilding state, powerlifting state because of people from West Side and stuff. I'm thinking there's going to be gyms everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like very personal, like big powerlifting and bodybuilding. There's not out here. It's like where I train at. There's like two. Well, where I lived at, it was like two, and it was all like far. Actually, it was only one, and then I found out about the second one. That's how I met my coach.
Okay.
And we can get into that later. But like, so how I started off was I was just plain and simple. I was fat. Like I had a job in North Carolina where I just sat on my ass all day and eat. So I got up to like 275 pounds. I think the most I ever got up to was like 279 or 280. And I was just like, yep, I'm just going to get back to lifting weights heavy now. But my buddy just like, hey, let's just move around a little bit. Let's do some fighting training and whatnot. And I ended up losing. I got down to 262.
Okay.
So like, that helped out. And then I seen that this meet was going on in Findlay, Ohio at this gym called Findlay Barbell. And I realized it was pretty close. I was like, all right, bet. It's like, and I'm from Findlay, and then this gym it was in Findlay. So I went and I've been working for a couple months. I went and bought a squat rack, a new bar. Actually, I didn't buy a bar yet. They had bars there, but they had like one of them cheap bars, something that you can just put some weight on. It was only like, you only could put like 400 pounds on it. And I do have a video of me. So when I bought the squat rack, I was getting prepared for the competition, and the bar couldn't handle how much weight I had on there. So I think I was squatting 555, and it was my first time squatting that too. And I was getting prepared for my competition, and there's a video where I was squatting it, and you could see the bar bending on my shoulders, and then I just had to jump out, and the bar just collapses and bends. So now I don't have a bar, and then I had to go buy a new bar, and I end up going to that gym in Findlay Barbell and doing like the rest of my training for a little bit.
Okay.
And then the competition came. I squatted 555. So the thing I missed, which it was a great eye opener to me, because like I went in there nervous because I wasn't able to squat it because the bar bent.
Right.
And I'm not ever nervous at a competition, but that was the first time I ever felt nerves, because something I failed is something I have to do. So like I went into it with an attack mode. Once I put it on my back and I walked out with it, in my head I was just like, all right,
we're coming back up.
Either I go down with it and I don't come back up, or if I go down with it and I come back up.
Yeah.
So like I went down. Guess what happened? I went back up.
We come back up.
So like, that was that was like the pivotal point to me where I was like, oh yeah, there's nothing I can't do, So like, I went there on the mindset just thinking I could do anything, and then I benched 380 at the time. It seemed impressive, but in that last video I benched 402. Yeah. So like, that 380 is something I kind of just do for fun now. But
that's great. So one of the things I've never power lifted. Obviously, I had to lift a lot of weights for football, and so with football, it's not even about the max number. Isn't as important, I guess, anymore. These days, it's more about how many times you can rep 225, I think is the big one. And like, if I'm not mistaken, now these numbers are a little bit skewed, a little bit older. But it was like, man, if you want to go D1, you got to rep 225 like 15 or 20 times, something like that. For a tackle, I think it's 20 times.
I think in bench, that's what they do in the combine, right?
Yeah, 225. Yeah, and how many times you can do it. I think I want to say I got close to 15. And another one of the things I realized about powerlifting, weightlifting, that sort of thing is the technique is so important.
Yeah.
And like you said, man, just 1 pound does start to feel like a 10 pounds, and every little bit helps, and the grip of where we grab it, where you go down, just so many things that I've never even bothered to think about. And then so one of the things that got me, and God bless all my coaching staff, I'll say it this way, maybe I misheard them. But it felt like I was misled into so like we were looking at your bench, and so they were like, no, keep your back on the bench, and so like no, you gotta arch it to kind of work it out. I probably could have, who knows what more I could have done if I would have lifted properly. There's no telling.
And one of the things about that, like my coach had to drill this into my head. Like it was like at least I think when I told him before, I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to bench 400 pounds. And he told me, he was like, everybody that's a power lifter in my gym that actually like competes in the somewhat heavyweights and whatnot, because I'm like in that middleweight kind of area. Okay. He was like, we all bench 400 pounds, so don't worry about that. Yeah. And what he instilled in my head was the leg drive. People don't think like when you bench, there's a leg. It's all legs. It's legs, it's back, it's triceps, and then it's chest more than anything. Like you think you bench and you just get underneath the bar and just pick it up with your chest. It's not, like, especially when you do it in the competition. And if you even do it in the gym, like if you want to just impress your bros, like if somebody that around the same weight and they bench like 300 pounds, you can, and they do it with the flat back, feet jumping around, elbows tucked out, yeah. You can really show them like, hey, look, I'm about to use this leg drive. I'm about to arch my back, turn my elbows in, bring it down to your chest and push. Like, it's one of those things where like since it's just no one ever taught them. And like I see that you brought up like high school. Right. First off, there's never I see high school kids squatting with the bar on their back. Why the fuck are they squatting? Like what do squatting do for, like, in that, like in football? There's so many other leg workouts that you can do that can help you be a better football. And then here's the thing: proper squatting, I'll allow proper squatting. Why are there kids with their coach, their head coach, and their strength conditioning coach, watching these kids deadlift? Like, I'm sitting there like watching them, like seeing that they're deadlifting. There's no purpose. There's only 2 sports in the world that, well, maybe 3 sports in the world where you need deadlifting. Okay. And one of them is powerlifting. Right. The other one is strongman, and the other one's weightlifting. And the thing is, with those 3, guess what? You're basically deadlifting in your competitions, especially in powerlifting, strongman, and weightlifting. You have to, clean and jerk. So it's like you have to learn how to deadlift at least. But like the risk to reward ratio on deadlift, like being cool in the gym with your bros, sure, compared to going and being a football player, is not worth it. I
never understood why we deadlifted in high school.
You shouldn't. I always tell people. What'd you say?
I didn't get it. I didn't understand what we were deadlifting for. I mean, it was great. I mean, I could deadlift, 400 or 500 pounds or something, but it's like, what's the point? Like, well, I'm just literally, I picked it up, and then the one thing we did was we would shrug our shoulder to yeah, I know.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't want to talk any ill will about your coaches and whatnot, but like a lot of these coaches are really good football coaches, but when it comes to being in a weight room, sometimes they just don't want you to be a pussy.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the sad thing is like when it comes to football, you got to be smart, and it's like, why would I risk a herniated disc on a young kid's back because I want to see him one rep max 500?
Yeah.
Where there's so many other exercises that make him a better athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying like powerlifters are not athlete, like some of us are just not athletic. Like we have guys that are like 300 something pounds, and yeah, they can bench 500 pounds, but can you at least jog a little bit? You know what I'm saying? And that's something that like my coach, he's been really adamant on. He wants us to make us like he wants to, first we gotta be strong. Secondly, we gotta be able to touch our toes. Like, you know, like that's one of those things where like I'm really happy where like when you go and find a powerlifting coach, and one of those things where it's like you can never do it by yourself. Like I know we was talking earlier, you was saying something about like how you're kind of doing it by yourself, but like like without my coach, I would not. I would never be anywhere I am right now. Like maybe if I was 30 doing it by myself, but like at this young age and doing it, like no, like I would never be able to do it by myself. Especially because like first off, never got hurt with them.
Right.
What'd you say?
I said that's right. I was going to tell you, talk a little bit about how you started with Lander Strength Syndicate and what's it like working with Josh?
Well, how I met him, it was actually funny. I was at his house the other day with one of the guys that introduced me to him. Okay. He was taking shingles off of his garage roof, and the guy that was helping was somebody I met through the fighting gym. Okay. And when I first moved out here, I was doing odd jobs. I was helping build houses and, you know, concrete and stuff. So like, the funny thing is like with my coach, the thing is the fact that we're saying his name probably pissed him off. Okay. Like, but I'm doing it on purpose to just piss him off. It's funny to me. Like he'd be like, "Why you say my name on a live and everybody sees who I am?" That's just who he is. So it's funny to me. But he's one of those people that when I started off, he was very secretive. Like, bro, like when I tell you I used to ride a bike an hour and a half to go to a gym that I barely liked, and then come to find out his gym is a building that says we have signs, and then you open it up, it's like a full-fledged gym. Like you would never know it's a gym there. He was right next to my house, like where I lived at. Well, next to the gym I was training at, like the fighter gym. Goodness. He was literally up the road. So I this guy, he builds houses and whatnot and does like odd jobs here and there. So I was working with him, and he just started asking me questions. He was just like, I didn't know I was in an interview. I didn't know I was in an interview this whole time. So we're sitting talking. He was like, so why'd you move out here? And I was like, yeah, I wanted to focus on powerlifting. Oh, powerlifting. I was like, yeah. And he was like, you know, are you serious about it? I was like, bro, I moved out here for it. Like, right. I'm only working here so I can become a better powerlifter. Like, I don't work first. Like, my job I have now, people ask me what I do. I'm like, I'm a powerlifter. But, like, the job I have now is just something I do to pay the bills. But, like, you know, we was talking for, like, a couple hours. And he was like, well, I know this guy. And he was like, I was like, okay. And he was like, well, he has a world record in the deadlift, you know. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me this before? And he was like, here's the thing. He's very strict about who he lets into his crew. Like, it was, so I was like, look, I moved out here for this. If you have somebody that can help me, let me talk to him. Right. So he messaged me. I messaged him. I think he put us in a group chat or something, but like I messaged him. I was like, hey, look, my buddy. It's funny because my buddy's name is Josh too. So it's like, okay. you know, so if I get mixed up, like if I say his name, it's Josh and then his other Josh Landers. So like, I told him, I was like, hey, my buddy told me that, you know, you're a world record coach. I mean, you're a world record holding deadlift holder. You know, you coach people, you have a team. I want to see what it's about. So he texted me back And he was like, first month's free. That's all he said. I was like, bet. And he was like, you come to my gym he was like, you come to my gym on these days. And then he texted me a whole list. And he's military. So like, first I had to figure out what 0500 mean. So, cause I didn't know what that mean. I was like, 0500. So I'm like, all right. I looked at the time. So it's 5 a.m. He was like, you come here every day. If you miss a day, you're out of the crew. I was like, bet. I was outside that gym 4:30.
Yes.
Yeah, and he got mad at me. He was like, "Why the fuck are you here at 4:30?" I was like, I mean, I thought it would be punctual, you know, like I might look like I really want it. He was like, "No, 5 a.m." He was like, "Oh, 500." I was like, "All right." And when I tell you, he literally told me like it was a couple because there was 3 other people there.
Okay.
That came at that time, and the first week he put us through like one of the worst workouts. Like I'm sitting there like hurting. Like it was one of the hardest workouts I've ever done. And then, you know, another week go by, we lose a guy. So it's me and this other guy.
Mm-hmm.
Another week of just hurting, in pain. We're just legs, chest, back, you know, and it's like all we can, everything we can give. That's all he wanted. He just wanted to see us try, you know. He didn't want us to break, but he wanted to see us try. Like, we could fail under the bar, but we can't say we don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So he don't care if I can't get that last rep, as long as I try to get that last rep. You know, instead of, like, not even trying to do 3 reps. So another week go by, the other guy's gone, right? And then, you know, this last week, he put it on me real good. Like, he had me doing these things called RFE lunges, and that's like when you put your foot up and you're just lunging with one leg.
Good
and
God.
bro, I never like wanted to cry in front of a grown man, but it was one of those things where I'm just like, all right, like I'm hurting pretty bad. Like I'm not even gonna lie. He was like, you want to do it? I was like, I'm gonna do it, but like I don't want to do it. I'm gonna do it. So he's like, all right, then do it. So I did it, and then I think that final week, he was like, all right, the crew meets up on weekends at 7 o'clock. So these are when I'm meeting the guys, like the big dogs, you know, everybody that's, you know, part of the crew, all hit big numbers, have a world record, whatnot. So now I'm surrounded around these guys, and I'm used to being the guy in the gym where it's like, I'm better than everybody. You know, like I was saying with the whole Lawrenson, Escanor, and everything.
Right.
Like, I'm so used to being in the gym where I'm better. And he never lifted in front of us, so I don't know how great he is.
Okay.
Right? Like, he might do a little workout here and there, but we're never really, like, lifting weights. So, like, I get in there with these guys, and we got guys that's, like, 300 pounds. We got a guy that's, like, 250 pounds. We got a guy that's, like, 180 pounds. And the guy that was 180 pounds was lifting more than me. What? You know, so like, you know, I'm not even like, nowadays I'm one of the more stronger ones, like, you know, in the crew.
Sure.
But like when I first started, I had to really humble myself and being like, all right, this is obviously where I want to be at. I want to be around people that's stronger than me, because there's nothing better than a hunt. Like, there's nothing better than a hunt. If I could
lion goes out. Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to beat you. And once I start, and first, before we got on this podcast, I'm talking shit in the group chat. We have a group chat. There's one guy, you know, he's like 308 pounds. I just bust his ass at a meet, and you know, I don't even let him breathe without reminding him that I'm better than him. Like, you know, and there's this other guy, like, I'm this close to, like, every time I get this close, you can see the worry in his heart. You know, like, you know, so it's like, I love there's nothing better than, like, I think what he was just telling me, he was like, I didn't hear the bell ring, and I told him, I was like, bro, normally a gazelle don't hear a bell ring when they die. They normally hear a roar. I was like, and that's what you heard, bud. I don't care. I was like, you lost. You got hunted. Now on to the next. So, like, you know, I always keep the mindset of just, like, you know, going on to the next. But, like, yeah, it was just great to just be around. It was great to be the bottom, basically the bottom bitch in the fucking gym. It was
Right,
great. It
right.
was just something I
But
looked forward to.
one of the things I actually was just discussing this with someone else not that long ago, man. One of the things that I've learned is that it's important. When you're the smartest or the richest in the room, guess what? You're in the wrong room. Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be the strongest. You don't want. I love to be around because I don't know everything. Believe it or not, don't tell my kids that. But I don't know everything. But I'm willing to learn. I want to learn. I need to learn. The day you stop learning is the day you start dying, right? And it's the same thing when it comes to lifting, when it comes to just in general business, and again, this is another great little nugget. This one provided by Lion Sin Cam that you want to be at the bottom of the barrel. You want to be with the group where you're not the toughest in the room. Now we're gonna get there. I'm eventually gonna be the badass, but I'm fine with being learning how to be the badass, chasing the badass. Those things matter to me as well as much. And you want to surround yourself with more people. It's good to get to where you can kind of set this thing up where you can bring someone with you, or you can kind of mentor someone yourself. But no, we don't want to be we don't always want to be the biggest, baddest in the room, or else how can you learn that next level? The next level you got to get to.
Yeah, to get back to like what I was saying before, like this is why I had people ask me like, why don't you do seminars? Why don't you do coaching and whatnot? I was like, I'm still being coached. I'm still joining my coach's seminars. Like,
right.
Like every time I talk to my coach, like it's one of those things where like even when I go and just hang out at my coach's house, like it's like that's like the friendship we have. Sometimes we'll go like go train, and then I might just go grab a smoke and just hang out in the back of his house, and he just teach me things, like small things, like he doesn't even know he's teaching me. He's just talking shit,
Right.
and he was telling me like the mindset I need to have, because he's one of those people, like he likes Ray Lewis, he likes Ronnie Coleman, he just loves people with the higher mentality of just being the great, and he doesn't want to be considered, like that's one of the things, like that's why I was saying like he hates when people say his name on my podcast, like Josh Landers, but I just want
quick note, coach. He said your name. I didn't say nothing. He said that.
No, you said it twice. I already counted. Yeah, you in Baton Rouge, right? We do competitions out there. but like so like it's one of those things where like when I'm with him, it's like I'm always learning something. So it's like one of those things where it's like maybe when I get to his age, I might be able to know a little bit something. I might be able to mentor somebody. I might be able to run through people's workouts. But like I always tell people, I'm like, I'm not that guy yet. I can introduce you to the guy. I'm a gateway to the guy. He can get you to where I'm at. Of course, I'm gonna be at a higher level by the time you get to my level. But he can get you to my level, and then beyond that. So it's like one of those things where it's like, I'm still a student within the sport. Like I'm not the best. Me personally, I think I am. There's no one else that's better than me, But it's just one of those things where it's like, as long as I can learn something, I'm gonna learn it before I teach it.
Love that, bro. Love that. So check it out, man. We're approaching an hour. For those who may have just joined, you are this is Kexin P. Ooh, that's a hell of a name, Mr. Pivot. But certainly a pleasure to everybody that's checking us out on all the various platforms. I got Camren, Bullock, my man, Lion Sin Cam. Definitely a pleasure to have you with us, man. And so look, if y'all do come down this way, you let me know. I definitely would look forward to coming to see the competition and see it live and in person. So tell me what's next for you. In the middle of all that you're doing so far?
Well, right now it's just kind of it's actually my chill time. Like I'm back in the gym. I'm not looking at any like in my coach's programs. I'm just going to the gym and having fun. Always trying to get to a point where I'm loving the sport again. Like loving the training. Like there's no hunt, there's no grind, there's just feeling good. I'm waiting for my girlfriend actually at the time, Faith Nichols. She's in Kansas right now for her pro debut in boxing. So like, I'm waiting on her to get the dub and come back, and then we can both just relax together. So like, I think our next big meet is sometime next May.
Okay.
It might be with a WPPL, but I don't know. Somebody might randomly talk shit on Facebook, and then whenever they, have a competition near me, I might just join it just to beat them. So that's one thing I always look forward to. If I can
Diabolical.
If I could just feed somebody the second place, I would. There's nothing better. I have somebody right now in I think his name's Derek. I got somebody in the 275 weight class that I will bump up a weight class just so I can beat him. I have somebody right now in the 220 weight class. They do multiply. And if anyone asks you, if anyone says they bench a lot or squat a lot, ask them if they did multiply. And if they say, yeah, they're lying. You're not that strong. They do multiply. I want to go down there and beat them in that. So I'll lose 20 pounds, and I'm willing to gain 20 pounds just to whoop your ass. So, there's smoke everywhere. There's smoke everywhere. I don't care. I'll stay in my weight class and beat you. I will go your weight class and beat you. 20 pounds down, 20 pounds up. I'm 240 right now, so I can get down to 220. I can get up to 275. Doesn't matter.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Talk a little bit about. I did see that. Talk a little bit about your girls. Now, where's she at? Where's she fighting in Kansas? Do you know?
I don't know exactly. From what she told me, it was in Kansas. She left like 3 a.m. this morning, so she catch a flight. She's actually cutting weight right now. She fights at 118.
Okay.
And she was like 220 when she left, so it was nothing but an easy weight cut. But this is her pro boxing debut.
Okay.
She just became pro, so her first fight as a pro is boxing. So, we're gonna see how that goes. She's more of a jiu-jitsu girl. She's a purple belt right now,
Okay.
and she more towards MMA. That's her. Like, her goal is to be an MMA fighter. This is just another stepping stone that she wants to step on. So she was like, you know what? Let's just go and get the bag.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Man. Well, listen, Cam, I definitely appreciate your time, bro, and I'm definitely looking forward to you coming back. Definitely watching everything you're doing, man. But just a blessing to get the chance to chop it up with you, man. This has been this has been very fun and enlightening. I'm glad to know that I'm not crazy. We're not that crazy.
There's nothing wrong with being crazy, bro. There's nothing wrong. I use that. That's what I look for the most. Oh, you call me crazy? Let me show you how crazy I can. Add 10 more pounds to it.
That's fantastic, man. So look, man, before we go, any shameless plugs, anything you working on, anything you want to share before we go?
First thing, sports testimony. Lock in with them.
Yes.
Tyran knows what he's talking about. He
fact.
rarely misses, unless it's about the New York Giants. So, he might get you wrong there, but other than that, that's the guy you want to talk to. You need coaching. First month's free. Lander Strength Syndicate. Get with him. If you just want anybody, I just want to chop it up. Just be like, hey, let me just talk to you real quick. Message me. I'm down. I always like talking to people.
Seriously?
I'll give you my number. We can chop it up on the phone and whatnot. So, everything is everything.
Well, look, before we go, I wanted to throw this one up here because I was really impressed by this video as well. The bar bending, which is absurd. and we're just gonna keep going up. This is absurd. But yeah, man, definitely a pleasure to have you with us, and can't wait to watch all that you're gonna do going forward, man. But a big pleasure to have you here. God bless it. It's just with ease.
Hey, Don't
That's the part
let the bar
that-
fool you. Some people, and that's what I was telling you about the multiply thing.
Yeah.
Those guys will say I bench 500 pounds, but then they wearing the shirt. You ask them to bench it with without a shirt, they only can bench 300 pounds. That bar is a deadlift bar, so it allows you to. That's what I compete at, and the
Okay.
the bend in it allows you to lift more.
Oh.
So like that's why like the leverage comes in and whatnot. So like if you ever seen somebody if they deadlift 640 on a stiff bar,
Right.
that's the guys that's like, oh yeah. Well, that bar didn't really give me too much. A deadlift bar doesn't really give you too much. But then the bar gets, you got the kabuki bars, you got the elephant bars. That was still, I mean, it's still 650. I'm 640, sure. But it gets easier off the ground. So don't let them guys fool you, man. That bar bending don't mean shit.
Yeah, I heard that, man. Well, thank you again for your time, Cam, bro. It really has been a pleasure, man. So we'll chop it up and we'll definitely chop it up more, man. Look forward to having you back soon.
All right, appreciate you, man. You take care.
Yes, sir. You as well. And as I always say to everyone, thank you so much to the fans. Thank you for watching the Fanatic Sports Podcast. And as I always say, tough times don't last. Tough people do. Thanks for watching the Fanatic Sports Podcast.